Alright everybody, welcome back to the video. Today I'm just going to be showing you guys some replays of the Synchron deck with the additions that I've made, and I'll show you the deck profile at the end. Yeah, I'm not going to be showing my face cam because I'm sick and I look like a nightmare, so please understand. I'm going to start a few replays of things I've been testing out the deck over the week and just, testing it, win, lose, I don't care. I just want to see what the deck actually does with the set ratios of cards that I have, and if cards are sometimes useless or if some cards can come out or go in, just testing. So yeah, the first match I'm going to show you is the potential of Psychic Rover, as I'd like to call it, because this card is actually broken. Because yeah, you'll see why in a minute. Yeah, I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's just hop straight on in. So load replay. So as we can see from the hand that we've opened up, it's not that great because we don't have combo, but we do have emergency teleport. So if I wanted to, I could have gone emergency teleport, summon Psychic Rover, and go Synchro Overtake, bring a junk Synchron, and make speeder that way. So it's almost like the Yugioh combo guide, but I did something a little different. So let's just see what I did. By the looks of things, we're going up against Performer Pal Pendulum stuff. So yeah. Okay, so I went. Okay. So I went into Stardust Illumination, I put Starter Synchron in the grave, I set Trail, I set E-Telly, and I set Call By. So E-Telly, what I was planning to do this is go into Psychic Grove on my opponent's turn and pop 2 cards. But yeah, it's not a great board, considering if this was a meta matchup, we would have probably lost this. But yeah. Okay, so I've drawn into the Chalice, which is amazing if opponent had a monster on the field that we wanted to have a one-on-one trade interaction with. But luckily they have nothing on their field, so we're all good. We can actually combo off now. That's pretty cool. So there we go, and then here's the thing not a lot of Synchron players will do is I went into Clearwing Synchro Dragon. You could have gone Yazi. But then I don't know if you can pop the All Eyes, but anyway, in the moment I wasn't sure and I didn't want to risk it, so I went into Clearwing, and then you'll see what happens. So I go for battle, just try to inflict some damage, and then I pass by setting the Chalice. So here I went E-Telly because they had more than 2 monsters on the field. So before they make something big, I want to try and knock away their resources so they don't have that advantage. So I go E-Telly into the Rover and let's see what happens. So I land on die roll 5, which gives me nothing. Okay, so here's the cool thing. I wanted to let that play out before I paused it. So my opponent didn't even read Psychic Rover, it just went straight for the Rover. It has its effect in the grave, it special summoned itself back. If this landed on 6, I would have just popped 2 cards, but I didn't. But the fact is, it's nice that we can bring it back, and in terms of battle like this, it's a nice form of protection if you don't land obviously on 106. But yeah, this is Psychic Rover. It has a lot of potential. Then it's my turn again, I special the Yugioh, and then I trade off the Rover for Starter Synchron in the hopes of making a speeder. And then I chain Trail and Rover. Rover landed on 6, I don't get it. And then Trail comes out, I made Starter Synchron at level 3 and I make speeder that way. So I make Crystal Wing and Omega, and honestly this is enough to kill my opponent, because look, Crystal Wing gains the battle advantage and we just swing for game. Exact 25k damage. And that's the first matchup. Moving on to the next one. Alright, in this matchup we are going up against dragons from the look of it. I recorded this a while back, so I can't actually remember most of what I've done. But yeah, I'm assuming this is dragon, and yeah, we'll see how this goes. So I am going first because I won the dice roll, or the rock paper scissors match. And by the looks of it, there's no interruptions, and I just go into the converter combo guide as I've done on my channel. So I bring out all the Synchron tuners, status effect, we'll add illumination, we activate illumination, send trail to grave, we make the Vermilion, and now we attempt to make the Yazi. Mr. Yazi comes out, Vermilion pops Yazi, we float into our Meme. Meme effect will give us all our tokens, and now we just want to draw off the Hyper Librarian whilst we combo off. Obviously this could have gone in a very different direction if our opponents had any interactions, or if they activated anything during our combo. Maybe something could have happened, but we were very lucky in this instance that there were no interactions from our opponents. And this was my end board for this matchup. So obviously now we don't have Chaos Ruler, we can't really make Hot Red, that kind of stuff. So now we have Omega, Crystal Wing, Herald, which is very good. We even got the set Imperm. We have a Crow in hand, we have the Ghost Ogre in hand. It's going to be very difficult to lose this match. And also with these matchups now, because we can't chain a Hot Red to things like Dark Ruler, obviously I didn't know what was in the hand, I'm starting to just activate Omega on my turn now, just to hope and pray that if there is a thing like a Super Poly or or Dark Ruler, we just rip that out of their hands and they don't get to negate our board. And I rip the World Legacy God Dragon. So now they attempt to go foolish, and luckily I caught it because I think that was pretty much bait for our Herald, but luckily I realized Herald says anything sent from hand or grave, any monster sent from hand or deck to graveyard is banished instead, so I let that resolve, and then they go into Rocket Tracer. He attempts to swing into my Herald, which is unfortunate, there's nothing I could have done there. So we lose our Herald, but we do get the trade-off for Saravis, which is amazing. So I do crow the Byssted Rebellion, because in the match before I did lose because they searched one of the other Byssted cards to banish their Byssted Rebellion to special summon that Byssted monster. So I just wanted to preemptively get rid of the Rebellion, just in case my opponent decides to do the same thing again. So I imperm the Striker Dragon. Honestly, I forgot how to interact with Dragon Link, but I think hitting the Striker Dragon is a fair thing. And then I ogred the Magnamit when it's on field because I didn't want to give my opponent more advantage of having more materials on the field, because they can just link it off and go crazy. So yes, they added a dragon, they'll get to add their dragon to hand. I don't want them to gain any advantage. So they go Protector Whelp and I Crystal Wing the Protector Whelp because that's never good. So then, yeah, they just surrender straight after that. So I'm sure if I didn't hit the Protector Whelp, they would have continued on. But yeah, we'll take the wins that we can, eh? But yeah, that was this match. Moving on to the next. Okay, this match I think is up against Raid Raptor. Yeah, I haven't actually gone up against this deck in a very long time. I do think I lose this one, but let's just see what actually happens. So I go into Illumination and I pass, because obviously the hand we had is not that great. It's not like I could even go into Yazi or anything like that, because we drew the one brick that we never want to draw into. But it's fine because we've got Effect Veiler and we've got Magnamit in hand, just to set up a potential nuke in Black Rose Dragon. Because we can go Magnamit, add destrudo to hand. On our turn we can go special destrudo and then into Black Rose and nuke the field. But let's see what actually happened. So they make their 4 Strix and immediately I have to negate that 4 Strix, and then I chain my Magnamit just to have that additional body and to get the destrudo that we needed. So now it's my turn and I drew the Rover, which is not great, but it's a level 2 non-tuner, so we'll take it. And like I said, I'll make the Black Rose and nuke. Then I go Synchro Overtake, special summon the junk. Then we summon Rover and we make Speeder. We don't chain the Rover because we don't want to get locked out of the extra deck, and we just combo off like this with the Caligo combo guide. and our opponent surrendered. So I actually thought I lost this one, but clearly not. So the deck is doing okay, but at the same time we are drawing a lot of bricks. So from this already I can see that there are potential ratio changes that do need to happen. But that's this match. I'm going to be showcasing to you guys a few of the losses that I had. So moving on. Okay, in this matchup it looks like we are going against Tearlament. And this is a meta matchup, and this is a match I actually did lose, which is quite disheartening. But mainly I can't really blame my opponent or anything like that, because I made a few misplays in this match. So yeah, no, there are things I can learn from, so let's see what happens. So they're going first and I Ghost Sister, which is cool because I get a lot of life points off of this. And then I immediately Crow the Halfness because I don't want them to fuse off, and they go Shiren. And yeah, I Magnum it the Shaddoll Beast because I don't want them to gain any advantage of that. And the bad thing here is our opponent has mulled our Jet Synchron. And if you know from the last deck profile I did post Banlist, Jet Synchron is the only level 1 Synchron tuner we have. So I might actually have to go back to include Cyber Synchron. So if we do make Speeder, we can still have a level 1 Synchron to a tuner to work with. But as you can see, they mulled the Psychic Rover, which gave us a little bit of an advantage here because now we can special it and attempt to pop. So the chain links will resolve first, and then the Rover would get its effect. And we land on a 3, so we don't get to pop anything. And as you can see, Spooky Dogwood is putting in a lot of work because we're just gaining life points, and our opponent has no care for the amount of life points we're gaining. And they attempt to pop our Magnemite, and they have, but we've gained quite a lot of life points. And now that we have Destrudo and we have Sauravis in hand, I did feel confident, so I sent Trail to the graveyard, activated Destrudo, lost 10,000 life points. I attempted to pop the Rover in the attempt to clear up its effect where it locks you out of the extra deck, so I would have gone Synchro Overtake and continued Synchro Summoning. But there's a Burst Dweller and Lulucaris was actually very annoying. So yeah, Lulucaris negates my Synchro Overtake, and yeah, there's literally nothing I can do here. I just had to pass. And that's where I scooped because I did not see myself winning this match, especially with just one Destrudo and Sauravis. Even if I did draw a non-tuner to keep extending with Destrudo on my next turn, they still had the Lulucaris and the Pistolo was still there, and they had the set card on the field. So yeah, moving on. And this will be the last match I'll be showing you guys before we move into the deck profile. And it looks like we're going up against Scareclaws. I always keep messing up the name, but yes, Scareclaw. And looking at our hand, we've got the E-Telly, which is nice. We've got Synchro Overtake, which is nice because we know we have a Speeder there. We have the Tearlament Shaylin. We have the Ash, which is cool, especially because of this card. But you'll see the stupidity I did in a minute. But yeah, my opponent is going first, so let's let this keep playing. So they'll go Water Enchantress. I was aiming to hit the right or something else. I forget which card to hit with the adventure package, but I eventually hit the journey. The fate. I was attempting to hit the Fateful Full Adventure with the Ash, but let's see what happens. So they go Fateful, I go Ash, and then yeah, they just activated it again. I did a stupid, and there's the Wandering Griffin Rider. So that kind of sucks, and they just keep comboing off. This is the one match I really don't know how to stop the boss monster from coming out, the Tryhard, because once that comes out we pretty much lose unless we have Kaijus. I had Kaijus in the side deck, but this is a once-off match. So yeah, and there comes out the Tryhard, and this is where I know I lose. But I just kept playing to see, just for the fun, shits and giggles, I just wanted to see what I could do. So they keep comboing off, and they put up a pretty darn good board. They go into Utopic Future with yes, they go into a Utopic Draco Future. So starting off, I go into Italy for the Psychic Rover. They chain the Scarecrow Slash, and then I chain Byssted Magnamit, and I banish the Rai card because I don't want them special summoning it off the Tryhard. We get our Magnamit, then we get our Rover, Magnamit chain Rover, then they chain Journey, they add the Draco back, Tyro land on 1, so I pop the 2 adventure cards, and I make Speeder. Speeder gets negated. Then I go Synchro Overtake, special summon the junk, and I make the Vermilion to pop another card, and I pop the wrong card. I forget that this thing can just bring itself back so long as a token on field. But realistically, there's nothing else I could have popped apart from this, and this was already a loss because of this annoying card. But yeah, let's actually move into the deck profile so I can show you guys what the hell is happening with the ratios and the cards we're playing. So this is the deck profile. From all of that replays, honestly, there's a lot that can change. So we have obviously the junk Synchron and the starter Synchron. These have to remain at 3 at all times, especially now that we don't have a Chaos Ruler. This has to stay at 3 because the Dawnwalker package is also gone. Jet Synchron, this has been giving me a lot of problems when this gets mulled because you lose your level 1 Synchron tuner. So Cyber Synchron has to come back. That is just a must at this point, and the protection is always needed. 3 Doppel, 3 Converter, this can't change. I'm actually thinking of removing Caligo because we've got the E-Tele package with the 1 Psychic Rover, which pretty much does the same thing as the Caligo turn 1, or actually any turn, because you just choose not to activate Rover's effect turn 1 because there's nothing to pop. And then you just, it's almost like a pseudo Caligo because you use this and you just make Speeder, and then you just follow the Caligo combo guide that I made, and you'll end up on the same board. So yeah, this can come out, and then we can bring in the things like the Cybers and stuff like that. Shaylin, I think we can put this to either 1 or 2. 3 is a bit too excessive, especially if you open a handful of spells or traps, this and a single junk Synchron, and you don't have Synchro Overtake, then you really don't want to send your junk to the graveyard because of the Shaylin effect. Because even if you mill a Doppel or Converter, you really have nothing to summon them off because junk is gone, and now you can't make Speeder. So maybe reduce the amount here. Destrudo is amazing. We finally got a purpose for Destrudo of the Magnamit. This is just a free level 7 Synchro, so we can either make the Clearwing, the Black Rose, or the Yazi, depending on the matchup or what's happening on field. The E-Tele package, as I mentioned, the Trail and the Meme, the One Nose, we just gotta have them. They're very important to the deck. I haven't been seeing a lot of Nibiru, but still, you can't take this out. Then the 3 Synchro Overtake, 3 Tuning. Maybe we can put Tuning to 2. I wouldn't go as far as to put it at 1, but maybe 2. Because yeah, the ratios are a little off, because what I'm noticing with the ratios is that I'm either drawing into combo or I'm drawing into things like this to break the opponent's board, so you can go into Black Rose and things like that, and you have the Rover, but then you have no follow-up to make Speeder. So yeah, that's quite annoying. And then the one-off spells that just stay the same, and then the Spice card, which is Dogwood. We saw in the 1 tier match how Dogwood put in work, so that card is staying 110%. Crow we have to keep because in meta now Crow is very important. The Imperm, the Chalice. I reverted to playing a lot of hand traps over the trap build up. I might go back, but yeah, for now it has been doing a little bit of work, especially when it's your first match and you don't know if you're going first or second. This can put in a lot of work, and when you're going second, you just sub these out for things like your Dark Rulers, your Drivers, and the Kaijus. And then I'm added Zarevis because you really don't want to get impermed on your Speeder, and it's searchable off the Herald, so if your Herald goes to the grave, you can just search your Zarevis, and that's a nice 1-for-1 trade. But yeah, that's the main deck. It's at 50. I might have to go down to 45. And the extra deck stayed the same, well, for the most part in the lower half. So Shaman, the Middle Marcher, the Cupid, the Herald, Speeder, Axel, Junk, and Librarian. From here, charge, and then everything changes from here. So now we have Clearwing Synchro Dragon, we have Black Rose Dragon, and we have Yazi. From these three, I do think you can remove either one of these two and add in what is it called? FA Dawn Dragster that we were playing before. But yeah, because it's spell and trap negate, and we need it because considering we have mine running rampant, we have the runic cards going crazy. Dragster might be a very good option. And then we have the Omega, the Crystal Wing, and the Vermilion. Vermilion would be Baron. If you have a Baron, play the Baron. I don't have Baron, so Vermilion's my replacement. I'm sure you saw the combo guide on how we made this work. So please watch that if you haven't. It's a very awesome card. And then the sides, it's the Gamma package, the Dark Rulers, the 2 Ogre, because this thing just snipes Adventure out of the sky. It pops annoying boss monsters. And then we're playing 5 back row hate now, because if your opponent just starts setting back row, you can just go Night Beam and pop certain back row cards, and they can't chain with that specific card. And then Cosmic just to banish, because Runic and Mine are quite annoying. And then the 2 Kaijus for spot removal, where we really can't out an annoying board. Like I showed you with the Tryhard, we can't remove it, so we just have to Kaiju it. But obviously that was a one-on-one match, so I couldn't really side it in. I might actually put this to 3 and then try and decrease one of these numbers. That's all I have for you guys today. If you found the video helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know what you think. Do you have any recommendations for the deck? Should I try and include the AOL package to make Shooting Majestic Star? Or do you think this is a very good deck profile? Do you have any criticisms? Just keep dropping all this stuff in the comments below. And yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay safe and peace.